Hey, what's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and today we are talking all things Paso Robles / Templeton Chamber with Gina Fitzpatrick and Krista Carpenter. Thanks for coming in.
Good
Thanks
morning.
for coming in, yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a long time.
This is
right?
fun. Yeah, we love being on this show too, so
Awesome.
I'm happy to be back.
Very cool. Well, congratulations last night on the new visitor center in Templeton.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We've been doing a lot of things. Last night, grand opening, Templeton location. We're sharing a space with Diggs Vacation Rental. And so we're at, what's that address? 524 South Main Street, if anybody isn't
right across the street from the rec center. Everybody knows where that's at.
Right across from the rec center. I was saying Templeton Spirits, so thank you for adding the rec center to that. And so we absolutely loved it. It's a beautiful space. I think we had about 150 people come celebrate with us.
Nice.
Which was exciting. Yeah, we had Congressman Jimmy Panetta was there for the ribbon cutting, and Supervisor John Pashong, of course, was there. You saw him. You spoke with him. It was great. It was a fun event. It's just great to see the community and their reaction to what the things that we're doing in the community. You know, I think having a visitor center where people can really showcase themselves and maybe not be open on a Tuesday, but if we have a guest that comes in on a Tuesday to the visitor center, we can say, well, tomorrow morning first thing, you know, come into this business. They'll be open, and people really like that. They enjoy it in Paso. So then we also just exactly a week ago, had our grand opening in Paso Robles because we have a new location.
That's
there.
a big one. Now, is that one just only chamber?
No, so we're right on the corner of 13th and Spring Street it was formerly the Keller Williams building.
Okay.
And we've actually gone into that space with the Wine Alliance. And so
Gotcha.
it's about a 4,200 square foot building, and it's just a little bit more than what we needed. And so our partners in tourism and hospitality and all of those things related is the Wine Alliance. And so I talked to Joel and said, you know, just let's share resources. Does this make sense? And it really does. So both from a membership standpoint, people now can find us all in one location. I think the tourists are really appreciating the fact that we have that direct line to everything wine. So it's working really well. It's exciting. And so we just formally did our grand opening. We've been in the space and open since probably early January. And so it was just the final as far as celebrating with everybody else. And we had about somewhere around 450 people came into that event. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you guys it's a big city, you know, with businesses that are already part of the chamber. And so it's a great visual for the chamber, because where you guys were at before was kind of like, you know, wait, they're over here somewhere.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. People would say, oh my gosh, I go to Unagi all the time and never even knew that this is where you guys are. And then of course other people that come and see us weekly and you know, said, oh, love the new location because now there's parking and all of the other benefits that we have there being right on the corner. So yes, absolutely. It was that building that we were in was fantastic. Loved every minute of it. Yes. It was the old Smith building. It was, what was it before us? They had the sporting goods in there. And
okay, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and it was more of like an outfitters type place. So it was a great building. We certainly appreciate everything the Smith family did and working with us along over the years. And it was fun, but it was time for something bigger and better and something more prominent.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to transition over to Krista.
Yes.
You are business development.
Business development
right?
and membership, yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about your history. How long have you been with the chamber? Did you grow up here? Tell me a little bit about
born and raised Northern California, the true Northern Cal, Redding area,
okay.
Red Bluff, and then moved to Bend, Oregon for 11 years. And then we just moved back here a year and a half ago. So I've been with the chamber a year and a half. Took the job, packed up my car, moved down, left my husband up in Oregon to finish up.
Is he still there?
Nope, he made his way down.
He made his way. Awesome.
Made his way down, and now we both are living here, working here, and our son goes to Cal Poly.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. So we love
Were
it.
you with a chamber prior, or?
I was not. I was with a title and escrow company.
Okay.
So I was business development manager for a title and escrow company and worked very closely with our chambers. So was, immersed into the community, working with our chamber very closely and all the real estate agents and of course mortgage and lending. So it was a really good fit, I feel. I love connecting people. I love watching businesses grow and thrive and a community thrive. So I
now
felt
you get
it was a good
to
fit.
Yeah, now you get to just introduce and meet all these businesses.
Yes, absolutely.
So with the chamber membership, you guys what do you guys currently have as far as members? Because there's quite a few businesses in Paso, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we're about 830.
Yeah, we're
Wow.
up there and continue to grow.
That's awesome. Because there's businesses popping up everywhere. I
Absolutely.
mean, just like next thing you know, you see something else popping up. So you're probably in the know of what's coming, right?
Well, we're working on that, right?
Yeah.
They're all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm opening a new business." It's like, "Wow, fantastic." But I love the fact that they call us. "Hey, I'm new to town. How can you help me?" And not at first they might not say, "Oh, I want to become a member," but they want to learn, right? They want to become part of the community. How can I do that? How can I get involved? So that's really our goal, is to really get them kind of immersed into the community and really thrive.
Yeah.
We continue to have the conversation about how involved a business needs to be in the chamber in order to succeed.
Yes.
And my take on it is as involved as you want to be, but it's not necessarily part of our requirement in any way for you to have to be present at all of the events and all the things. However, every single time somebody attends one of our events, we actually have a gentleman that we were working with during construction that has now started coming to our events, and he said, he just told me last night, "Gina, I just walked out, I have 6 new customers." And I was like, well, great, that's what this is about. And it's a grand opening. It wasn't necessarily specific to us having the mindset of how can we facilitate a networking environment any further than what we typically do. It was a grand opening, but he was excited and he left with 6 new customers, and I thought that was really cool.
And that's really what chamber is designed for: business development.
Yes.
Networking.
Yep.
Because a lot of
Resources,
people they look at the chamber as a resource,
Absolutely.
like a Yelp or something like
Yep.
that. Like who's the who, and so when you go to the chamber or they reach out to you guys as a referral agency, for hey, who can we need some painting? We need
Yep.
some of this. Who do you recommend? They look at you guys as like the leader of like steer people in the right direction.
Yes. I really consider us, yes, a resource and a partner, a true partner. Like, how can we help one another, right? How can we help our community? That's the biggest thing.
So what's your next big project? What are you working on right now?
Well, we have quite a few, actually.
Yeah.
Obviously, growing our community, and we have a bunch of new businesses getting ready to open up this summer. So that's, they're looking for small retail spaces, businesses to come in. So it's really kind of connecting people with those large businesses moving in and helping them. They're wanting to, fill employment space. So
We're
connecting
also
that.
really working closely with the Atascadero Chamber of Commerce regarding the Hispanic business community, the Latino business community, and developing resources to where we can step in and help more there. We know that there's a gap in what we have provided in the past and in the way that it's been accessible to them. So in other words, social media is the first place that they go. We don't necessarily post, or we hadn't been posting resources directly on social media as often. And so we're starting to change our way of doing business in order to accommodate the Hispanic businesses throughout the entire North County. And I think that there will be great benefits to that because it really is an ecosystem, right? If one business is thriving, everybody's thriving.
Yeah.
And it really does matter that we're all together in this.
And just because it's Paso Chamber doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a business within Paso, right? You could be Templeton, Tascadero, San Luis,
Absolutely.
whatever, right?
Well, remember that we merged. So yes, you can be anywhere, but specifically we merged with the Templeton Chamber. So it's Paso Robles and Templeton that we truly represent. And then, but we have members from Creston, San Miguel, San Luis Obispo, all over. We have members.
So Gina, I want to step back. So you're born and raised here.
No, actually, I'm not.
No?
I'm not. No. So my mom is I'm fifth generation. My
Okay.
mom is, her maiden name's Hartzell. And so the Hartzell family, my grandparents were born and raised here. And then my parents met at Cal Poly and actually raised us in the San Joaquin Valley. And then when I was 17 years old and I didn't understand why I was hanging out with people that had dirt on their pants and dogs in the back of their truck. And I moved to Monterey for a couple of years to marry a doctor or a lawyer. And I was there, like I said, for about 3 years. And my uncles called and said, you need to be at this branding tomorrow morning. And I drove down in the wee hours of the morning and was standing in the middle of the branding pen and just was like, what am I doing? This is my life. This is my family. This is who I am. And my little sister was going to school at Cal Poly. She was getting ready to start and said, be my roommate. And I was like, okay. So I've ultimately been here since 99.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so how long have you been the CEO at the chamber?
Almost 10 years.
Wow.
July will be 10 years. I cannot believe it. Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So what did you do before that?
I was a banker.
Okay.
I was a vice president branch manager for Heritage Oaks Bank. And I did some business development for a very short period of time at Mission Community Bank, and then ended up going back over to Heritage and running the office there. It was the main office there in Paso.
So you've seen all the changes in Paso.
Yeah, I've
Almost
seen a
been
lot.
A part of most of all of them too in the last 10
And it was
years.
fun. It was great to go from so when I was actually at the bank, I was sitting on the board of the chamber, and they assigned me the role of what was the specific? It was economic development. I was the chair of economic development.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know what that meant. How do I succeed at this role? So I took a week off work, vacation, and went up to Sacramento. They had a specific course where you could become certified in economic development in that week. And so I graduated top of my class, I will
Nice.
say, first time in my life, but I paid attention and I loved everything about it. And I think it was my background in banking and helping small businesses and mid-sized businesses really succeed from the banking side of it, to be able to apply that to the real world and what that meant as far as economic development and communities and placemaking and all the other things that go with it. I learned more about infrastructure and why that matters, and kind of connected all of those dots. So then when this role came open for the CEO and everybody was nudging me, hey, you should try this. I'll put my name in the hat. I'm great where I am at the bank. I don't necessarily need a change in my life right now, but put my name in the hat, and next thing you know, here I am 10 years later. And so I gave myself 5 years. I said, I'll do this for about 5 years, and then I'll move on to whatever's next.
Yeah.
The 5-year
Wow.
mark was COVID, though. And so the business community, as we all know, was going through so many challenges. I couldn't walk away at that point. And I've truly in my life never worked harder. Those 14-hour days it was worth every second, because we had to, when you look at the North County and how much we succeeded as opposed to others, and it's kind of almost a word that nobody even thinks about it anymore, because it was just a hiccup. We moved past it, and there are other communities that are still really, really damaged as a result.
Right.
When I talk to other chamber CEOs and what's happened in their communities, it's phenomenal to see that for us, we're done. We're over it. We've moved
It
on.
was a crazy time.
It was a crazy time, yeah. So at that point, I said, all right, I'll do another 5 years. And here we are now.
Oh, so now what?
Well, now we have the 2 new locations. Now we have, and now our goals have shifted, and our strategic plan is actually in the process right now of being written, so that we can look at some of these initiatives. And I'm just not done yet. I'm still loving it, every single second of it. There's so much to do in the chamber industry, because it varies so much between economic development and community development, and bringing more resources and all of that piece. Workforce development is something that I just absolutely, it excites me. How do you connect interns with businesses and ensure that businesses have the staffing that they need? How do you bring more head of household jobs to the North County so that people can actually buy these $1 million homes that are on the market? It's balancing all of those things, and then looking back at the infrastructure. Is there something we need to advocate for? Our board opted to advocate for the paid parking in Paso, and having a paid parking program in Paso. And so we advocated in favor of that. It, of course, did not, and in our favor,
Right.
which was fine. It wasn't. I never looked at it as a them or us kind of a thing. I understand why it was opposed.
There's pros and cons, to
Absolutely.
that.
Everything,
So,
right?
and they all make sense.
100%. Absolutely agree with you. Yes, I think that, but that's just an example of the types of things that, when we're looking at advocating locally for infrastructure needs, that would be one of them. So I like the fact that every day looks different. There's just so much diversity in everything that we do as far as the specific initiative or the project is concerned. But yet at the end of the day, it all funnels back in together, and it's all about the community, the business community, and the community as a whole.
So, Krista, is Red Bluff similar to like our area?
It is. Lots of ranching. It used to be lots of timber, lumber. There's a couple more mills. There are quite a few ranches. Also, where we lived up in Redmond, which is just outside of Bend, is very similar. Very touristy, very small community. So the transition was pretty easy. And I truly am a small town girl. Like, that's my passion, is how can we really get our small town community thriving? And really we want people to come here, and we want to give them a reason to come here and come visit. So that tourist and the draw, and that's what we talk about a lot, is what else can we draw people here to, right? We have an amazing wine country. We have Cal Poly's a huge draw, the beach. Like, what else can we do to draw people here and bring families?
Yeah, we see Sensorio, of course, coming.
Yes.
Sensorio has already seen 220,000 people this year.
Wow.
220,000 people, and we're in April. That in itself. And so we just went, I think it was Thursday, last week, maybe Thursday night, it was a soft opening, or it was a VIP event for us to be able to see their new exhibit. And so then Friday was their grand opening, and that's just going to draw even more people. And you look at what the Ravine Water Park is doing, and Brett's always had the idea of building on to the water park itself, and so that's happening, and that's in the
So what? Hold on, let's back up. What's happening?
Well,
at the water park.
Not specific to the water park,
Oh, okay.
but they're talking about bringing in like an RV park that's really kid friendly, that has activities for people to be able to bring kids. That any night of the week, there's s'mores and bingo and all of those fun family activities.
Because they kind of use that little hut tiki, area for like events. Like, I think you can rent it and stuff too, right?
Yeah, there's different parts of the park. We actually, so we'll maybe talk about it later, or I'll just share right now. One of the things over the years that I'm the most excited about, that really just is a favorite for me, is Leadership North County. And so Leadership North County, another one of the reasons why I really wanted to work for the Chamber is because I wanted to bring a leadership program to the North County. South County has a leadership program. San Luis has been running a leadership program for many, many years. But there's just kind of a gap in the North County, and so when I came on, I went and met with Linda Hendy. She was the CEO at the time of the Atascadero Chamber, and I said, I have this idea. I want to bring forward a leadership program. And she said, no, don't hold, pause. I have all the curriculum ready to go. I'm getting ready to launch this. Let's do it together. Please sit on this board. It's a nonprofit board that is overseeing the program. And I said, great, fantastic. I want to support this. So sat on the board. It's the North County Economic Foundation. We were overseeing the program administrator and the program in itself. And then because of COVID, the program was quiet. We weren't really able to operate. And then fast forward to 2023 probably. And it was, okay, what's next? How do we revive this and bring it back? And ultimately, Josh Cross and he said, I'll support you, but will you actually facilitate the day-to-day operations of the program? And I said, yes, absolutely. So this is now our second year. So it was Class 5 and Class 6 that we have start to finish executed the program, which means that we've put together a weekend-long retreat for this leadership class. You applied to be in the class, and not everybody's accepted, but you do apply, and we do an interview process and go through it all. And then it's been, I think, about 15 participants each year then go through the weekend-long retreat, as well as 9 program days. And those program days it's one Friday a month, and it's everything from health and human services to agriculture day. We have, what was this last month was tourism and hospitality, arts and culture day. Goodness, what am I missing? There's so many. Yeah, military and public service. And so we do everything from, we see the inner workings and the back end of the jail and the things that people, don't typically get to experience. We take them out to Camp Roberts. We've gotten to go to, with Health and Human Services Day, we actually went down to the brand new Sobering Center down in San Luis, which was very eye-opening to me. I didn't even know that sobering centers, I didn't understand what sobering centers were, and that was really cool to be able to see that it really truly is a place for people to go that need a moment. They just need a second. Maybe they need some resources, maybe not. Maybe they have resources, but they just need a spot that's a safe place to sober up. So we really looked at this program as a whole and the way that it was originally designed and kept the basis of it. But then over the years, things have changed, people have changed, players have changed. And so now we've added a little bit more as far as the inner working side of it, maybe, and it's just been a phenomenal success. I'm so proud of what we've done, and I'm so proud of the groups. Both Class 5, the graduating class from last year, they still meet on a continuous basis. We're talking about bringing forward an alumni program, which I think will be phenomenal, because at this point it's almost 100 people that have gone through the Leadership North County. I think it's actually just over.
That's awesome.
And so how do we keep those groups thriving and ensure that, and hopefully ultimately they do decide to become a city council member or a county supervisor or sit on a school board or utilize that knowledge in a way that is going to benefit the whole community.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, so and that's another role that the chamber plays in, as far as like you said, business development, leadership. So Krista, what kind of, like, when you walk into a new business, they just opened up, you're like, what do you talk to them about? What are some of their concerns or their, pros and cons of the chamber?
Great question. It's, really, I want to get to know them. I want to get to know their business. I always ask, what are your wants? What are your needs? How involved do you want to get into your community? Because those are some questions that they really need to ask themselves. Why do I want to become a member of my Chamber of Commerce? A lot of times people ask you, what does the Chamber of Commerce do?
Right.
So, we really answer their questions, like exactly, Leadership North County, getting involved in your community, getting on a board. My biggest passion is our younger generation, is getting them involved in different events, activities, volunteering, just asking them to be part of us and we become part of you. Just getting to know them, answering any questions that they have, and let's link arms. Let's do this, and let's really become part of a community.
Awesome. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So when you came here, what, a year ago?
A year and a half.
So what are some of the, like, when you came to this area, I'm assuming that you've been here before prior
Yes.
to that, right?
Yep.
What was some of the businesses or venues that you were like, wow, this is just right here in this small town? Which are the ones that impressed you the most?
There's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so many amazing restaurants, wineries. It's funny listening to all of us talk here. There's one main connection, Cal Poly, right?
Right.
My husband went to Cal Poly many years ago. My son's at Cal Poly on the rodeo team. Like, I knew a lot of people here. I didn't know them on a real personal level, but we knew them. Many connections. This community is connected, and there's really one big word that stands out, and that's Cal Poly. And that tells you a lot of things, right? Ag community. People want to stay here. They want to get involved in the farming, the ag, the ranching, all of it. So just driving around, looking around, there's just so many things here for people.
And you're seeing growth like crazy. Like, you know, we were
Yes.
talking about, you know, COVID, which, you know, what do you recall what the membership was during COVID? Did it
You know
dip?
what?
Did it go up?
We actually ended up doing so well. No, we thought we had actually prepared ourselves because we were watching as other chambers were just saying, I'm losing members left and right. I don't know what to do. And we actually had a really high retention. We remained between an 88% and a 92% retention rate almost through the entirety of COVID.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible. I think a lot of it was our actions. We kept everybody informed. We had developed Paso Strong. We hadn't merged with Templeton at that time. So we developed Paso Strong, and we were a big resource for pushing out information. That was helpful. In addition to that, we also worked really closely with our partners, both Travel Paso, the Wine Alliance, and the Main Street Organization, and we brought forward, what did we call it at the time? Oh my goodness, it was Dining in the Park, and where we were keeping, because in Paso specifically, the restaurants, the downtown area is the heart of our community. And we know that because of the ecosystem, you know, I guess people will, when I say ecosystem, people will ask sometimes, why are you spending time with, I probably shouldn't say on the air, but like a Subway is the best example I can give. But they matter too. Everybody
Yes.
matters. As you know, why are you picking one over another? It's not picking anybody. Every single business matters, because if an employer comes in with 75 employees, they're going to have employees that are at all different rates of pay. We need to be able to have all different options for those employees to have lunch, have dinner, bring friends into town, all of those pieces. If we don't have strong schools, we can't attract more workforce. That if they have young children, they're looking at those pieces. So we need a strong school system and have a strong, you know, both Templeton and Paso, of course, in order to support that. But it's important that we, the chamber, continue to be involved in that. And how can we help to build you or give you more resources? Is there a gap that we can help fill? Because it really does matter. It's all about the attraction, but also the sustainability of our community. And so that's
But
what
you
I
guys
mean
also
by that.
helped to advocate for the businesses being out in the streets and really kept that alive. I mean, the North County was like a different, like Paso, you know, was like still thriving, and it was almost like during that time frame, because everybody else was closed.
Right.
People
Yeah.
were coming here. You had I loved the restaurants in the street. I thought that was awesome.
Right.
So-
A lot of people did. And that's still a conversation. The city of Paso Robles recently, it was in June, they adopted a new economic development strategic plan. And as a result of that plan, we, the chamber, have a close relationship with the city specific to economic development. And so we are looking at some of those pieces that are written throughout that plan, and part of it does include our downtown and how do we keep a strong downtown. It doesn't mean that, you know, everything else that is around the downtown matters. Everything that's in the outskirts matters, because people want to be able to have a variance. They want to enjoy lots of different aspects of our communities. And people come to us and say, I'm here, I'm staying here, but I want to go to Hearst Castle. I want to go to the beach. What else can I do? So we send them out to Santa Margarita Adventures. They want to go zip lining. We have to have multiple offerings in order to be able to accommodate our guests. And it's also, for me personally, it's also a balance, right? Because I loved going to AJ Spurs. Main
Oh, why'd you
Street,
have to say that? I
Templeton,
miss the
you
soup.
know, as a kid,
Yeah.
and being able to run across the street and not have to be worried about cars hitting us and all of those things. I am one of those that I don't always love change. I love the small town feel. I do wish that it was just us and we could live in our bubble and we could operate the way that we did 30 years ago. But life changes, things change, and so in order to grow properly, we have to have money. We have to support the infrastructure. We have to support the ecosystem. We have to keep everything at a balanced level. And so we're seeing all of this growth specific to Paso. That is, it's really incredible growth, but are we balancing the right way? Are we looking at all aspects of this? And that's kind of what we try to keep our eye on as well. Do we have too many hotels? Do we have too many hotel rooms?
Is that possible?
It is possible.
To have too many
Absolutely,
hotels?
it's possible. So we have about 16,000 rooms online, 1,600 rooms online right now. And once these new hotels are completely built out, I think we'll be somewhere right around 2,000. And so,
Hold on.
Sure.
Now, when you say online, that means collectively with all the different hotels, those are the available spaces, rooms that you guys have.
yeah, exactly.
Within the city.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Not
yes.
including Airbnbs or nothing like that.
No, I don't think that number. I
Okay.
think it's about 1,800 if you include the Airbnbs.
Okay.
But then you look at Napa, and Napa has 16,000 rooms.
Wow.
And so, do we think that we're at capacity now? I don't know. If you're comparing us to other wine regions and seeing their success, we have a long way to go before we hit 16,000.
Right.
So it's not. I'm not saying that we have too many online right now. No, that's not my take on it personally at all. I just think it's important that we always continue to look at that and balance that.
And I know this isn't your position per se, but as far as like the housing, within the city, it's like, okay, hotels are great, this and that, but what about, like the kids, your son?
Absolutely.
Sure.
When I first moved here, I met some real estate agents at a ribbon cutting, like my first week, and that was a discussion, that we talked about was we have so many amazing kids coming out of Cal Poly that want to stay here and start a business or go to work for some of our amazing businesses here, but they can't because of the affordability of housing and the shortage of housing. So how do you correct that? How do you make that better, right? I notice there's not a lot of building going on here compared to where I came from. And so, but I do see it starting. There's new developments coming in. But how do you make that work for these kids coming out of college to get a job and start a life? And it's challenging.
And my answer to that is the head of household jobs. So the part about, I'll say economic development and what I learned the most when I went through that course is the diversification of your economy. What we're heavily focused in certain areas, and are we balanced? If something tragic happens, such as the fires that happened in Napa, are we strong enough to support ourselves without that one industry? Or are we so reliant upon any one industry that we can't sustain ourselves without it? And so really diversifying our economy, that does bring in more head of household jobs. Yes. Looking at what's happening with the spaceport in Paso at the airport. And of course, we don't know 100% that we're still working through that process, and we don't know 100% how many jobs that's going to create. It's impossible, I think, to be able to give a specific number at this point, but seeing how many people this has brought to us that are so interested from all over the world, literally from all over the world, that are coming to us and saying, this is really exciting. I want to be a part of this. Where can I buy land? Or how do I start a business now, my business now, operating here in Paso, so I'm well prepared once the spaceport's up and running. And so it's all of those head of household jobs.
When is that development? Like a couple years?
Yeah, they're still going through the process of submitting the application to the FAA and hearing back from them. Then they'll score us and they'll come back and say, yes, but you need to change this, this, and this, or yes, it's a go, everything's perfect. It's still a bit of a process to go through. So I would say, yeah, about probably 2 years.
Do you think that area will be the next boom as far as like restaurants and, retail and shopping and stuff like that?
Personally, yes, I do.
Because
Absolutely.
they got the space out there.
Mm-hmm. They have the room to grow. We also have Majestic Realty purchased the old boys' school. Gosh, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and they continue to go through the process with the city of their design and what they're doing with that. I think it's 160 acres, if I remember correctly, maybe 180, but I think it's 160 acres out there, and looking at all of that to bring in more hotels, a lot of space to be able to have crush facilities. It was one conversation that they were having. They were looking at storage space at one time for more wine. They've looked at all different aspects of it. So looking at their blueprint and the number of jobs that they'll bring to the area, and then how that will complement the spaceport part of it, it's exciting. And yes, it's again those head of household jobs.
Yeah, because they'll bring in the house jobs, like you said, and
Right.
just need more houses.
Right,
Yeah.
and so no matter what you are opting in and for your head of household job, is it marketing? Is it are you a 3D printer? What is it that is in your wheelhouse or your skill set? This will inevitably be available through these. It doesn't mean that you have to have a degree in space technology, or that you need to be the person that is building these. Gosh, what are those things called that they put out into the, it's not, it doesn't have to be specific to space in order to create that job.
Awesome. Well, so Gina, tell me a little bit about these Templeton events coming up. You got Women in Business.
4th
you
of
got
July is
4th
next.
of July. You got,
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds of stuff. Which you guys do the parade, right?
Yeah.
Or in partnership with Rotary, right?
No, actually, so Rotary does the entire parade by them, but on independently. That's a Rotary thing, and then our side of it is the park.
Gotcha.
And so we opened I call it the beer garden, but it's, what do we have? Mimosas, margaritas.
Yep, Bloody Marys last year.
And
Oh,
Bloody
yeah.
Mary's always. And,
Quite the hit.
Exactly. And we bring the band in, and we accommodate everything, all of the the bounce houses and the fun activities for the kids, the booths. We will have very soon, within the next probably week, the application for people that want to have booths. People have great success in selling all different things out of those booths. That's always a fun one for people to be able to come in. It's, a very, very small version of a farmer's market in a sense, but people love that part of it. And then just being able to be out there and listen to Joy Boner, and she's
That's who's
great.
playing it? Is that
Joy
who's playing
Boner.
this year?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, back by popular demand, everybody loves her, and so she'll be there, and it's a fun event for us. We have a blast. So that Women in Business was a program that as we were essentially signing the paperwork with the Templeton Chamber, when they had come to us and said, are you willing to look at potentially merging organizations? It was, well, what events are you interested in us keeping, and how does this look? Women in Business was a top priority, and so we were at Ian McPhee's. He's such an amazing
Great community
man.
supporter.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yes.
gosh,
My
he's
goodness.
so generous.
Yeah.
For a long period of time, but he was opening specifically just for us and bringing staff in just for us, because he's not open for lunch anymore, of course. And so we got to the point where we were having to turn so many people away at each one of the luncheons. We had just reached oh my goodness, maximum capacity, that it was time to find a new location. We were out at Tooth and Nail for a little while. They've taken a break, as everybody knows.
Yeah, weren't they going to do a run? They kept posting that, and people were like, "Aren't you guys close?" It was I don't know. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, they're not operating at this moment. And so we were at Tooth and Nail, and then our friends Rich and Martha Clayton, who own Cal Coast Beer Company, California Beer Company, they have an event space called Patina. So they hosted us for the last 2 months, and now we get to launch at Bella Sarah,
Oh, wow.
which was La Bella Sarah previously, now rebranded to Bella Sarah, next to the Hampton and over by Target. So we'll be there today, actually, for Women in Business. And I think we have 89 people registered. So we, more and more, we were hitting that max capacity at McPhee's at about 60, 62 people we could get in the door. And then we've quickly grown. So at 1 month we were almost at 100, and I just see the program continuing to grow. It's fun.
So for somebody that owns a business, women, what can they expect when they go to Women in Business?
Sure, I'll let Krista talk about that part, but I will say that it's not just women. We
women.
do have men, absolutely, that are joining us at every single luncheon. So I think that it's branded as Women in Business, but it's an educational opportunity for everybody and networking. But
Yeah, it's probably my favorite event that we do host monthly. So we typically have a nonprofit speaker that can come and speak for about 5 minutes to 7 minutes, talk about their nonprofit. We also do a spotlight speaker, which is kind of a paid advertisement for that business if they would like to speak. And they can really pitch their business. It's truly an advertisement in front of everybody. You can talk about your business and what you offer and your services. And then we typically have a keynote speaker that is 30 minutes long. So, and all during that program, people are getting to enjoy a great meal, network. We give them time to network. We have just a great time of getting to know people. And hearing about businesses, nonprofits. Nonprofits come and speak. I had no idea they were even around, so it's great. We get to hear about it and learn about it. Also, our keynote speakers are there to really kind of educate and inform people of something that's going on in the business world.
Who's going to be there today?
Uta, I hate to say that, but she's coming to speak about just thriving businesses and how to really boost your team and your business internally.
And so evidently it's a membership for women in business to be a part of it?
Nope.
Oh, it's not?
Nope. Members and non-members, if you are a member, you get a little bit of a discount. But if you're not a member, please come, sign up, and enjoy a wonderful day of networking and education.
So it's kind of like a more of a sit-down mixer type event.
It's about 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours.
Right. When the doors open and there's time to network then, and then we officially start the program at 11:30, and we go until about 1 o'clock. But then lots of people stay after, and then during the program, because there are a couple of breaks, people get to mingle with people at their table and get up, and we do self-introductions at the very beginning so everybody knows who's in the room. So if there's one specific person that, I've been meaning to do business with this person, or I've always wanted to meet so-and-so, they have an opportunity to go over and say hello and introduce themselves and exchange contact info.
And you guys are at the Bellicera, which, so people know where that's at. That is over there on Theater Drive, right there behind now the new motel.
Yeah, the River Lodge.
River Lodge. Over there in I think Osh.
Yes.
Orchard
yeah,
Supply.
Exactly. Target. Yes.
Yeah.
All of
So
that.
over there.
Yeah.
And prior to them, doing their renovation and stuff like that, the restaurant was phenomenal. And so now that it's been redone, there's a new head chef, right?
Yes.
Yep.
New management. So I wonder what that's going to bring.
They've been wonderful to work with. So Carol, who does the sales, she's sales manager there at Bellicera. She was new, and we connected through the Hampton Inns, and I kind of put it in her brain a little bit of looking for a space. And so it just kind of progressed that way, and it worked out well after their renovation. And so we're really excited to be there today and can't wait to try the lunch and just get to be a part of it.
It's really cool to see those three, the River Lodge, Bellicera, and the Hampton Inn, because Hampton Inn also just had a complete renovation as well. And it's phenomenal. They invited us probably 2 months ago, I would guess. 2 or 3 months ago, we were there and we toured the space. It's absolutely beautiful. They've done just an amazing job. The rooms are there's serenity and calm when you walk in the door, and they're really, really pretty rooms.
The staff are amazing.
Yeah.
Just so welcoming and friendly.
Yeah.
And then the hotel across the way, that's up on the hill.
Yeah.
That that's going to add however many more rooms. I mean, that thing's huge.
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to remember. I'm not even going to throw out a number because I don't remember.
It's not as many as I thought.
Yes.
Really?
Because it's a residence inn.
Right.
So they're bigger.
They're bigger, and they
Gotcha.
have a little kitchen and long-term stays.
Yes.
But they're anticipating this summer as well to open up. So
Gosh, that is what, just like I said, the growth. I mean, it's kind of stopped for a year probably for
Yeah.
the rain, and I think there was some
issues.
alleged issues.
Yeah.
But they picked back up and jammed
Right.
with that.
And we have
Full
Hotel
speed.
Ava in downtown Paso.
coming.
They'll be open soon. I think they're targeting end of May, it's looking like.
Yeah, hopefully middle of summertime is their goal. to be up and running.
So
That's going to offer a lot too.
Yeah,
Rooftop dining. Yeah, so it's going to
So
be
Gina,
fun.
tell me about the Christmas tree auction.
Oh
What's
my
that all
gosh,
about?
the Christmas tree auction. So the Templeton Chamber every year did a Christmas tree auction. And so we were talking to people in the community. And so Krista spends a ton of time in Templeton. She lives in Templeton, as you know, and so I would say that she almost splits her time 50-50, which is impossible if you're looking at an every single week basis. But overall, it's probably about 50-50 that where she's between Templeton and Paso. All that said, more and more people that we were talking to said, well, we missed the Christmas tree auction. I had never put on a Christmas tree auction in my life and said, all right, well, let's do this, team. If you guys want to bring it back, let's bring it back. So talked to our board. Our board said, yes, absolutely, if this is what you want to do. And so this past year was our first time of bringing forward the Christmas tree auction. So we had it at the Vets Hall in downtown Templeton. 185 people, I think. I mean, we really pushed it to its limits. And 13 businesses built Christmas trees, decorated Christmas trees with all kinds of fun things. Some had gift cards, some had, what are some other examples?
All kinds of
themed
gifts,
trees. We had a
themes,
Disney
yeah.
themed tree that had all kinds of fun stuff for Disney on it, you know, Mickey and Pluto and all
We're
the fun
talking
stuff.
real
And
Christmas trees? Or
live
Yeah.
or not live. Some,
Okay.
I think most of them were artificial, but
yeah.
all beautifully lit up and all the things. So put them all on the stage, 13 trees. And then if you were a business that signed up and said yes, and we actually had to stop accepting trees because we didn't really know what the event looked like. And so we said, okay, our cap is 13 this year. And so as you were introducing the fact that you wanted to decorate a tree and bring it to the auction, you also were selecting a nonprofit organization that would benefit as a result of the sale of the tree. So then we brought in an auctioneer, and he and I auctioned off all 13 of the trees, and then whichever nonprofit had been named, which is we of
For that
course shared
specific
that
tree.
Yep.
for that specific tree. So cancer support, Echo. The list just goes on. The JB Doers Tractor Restoration Program benefited. Templeton Women's Charitable Club. All of these things, and California Coast Beer Company, I think their tree sold for $6,000.
Wow.
They, I think, were the biggest winners. California Coast Beer Company, and then we had one other tree sell for about like $5,600 or something.
Yeah.
It was just
Wow.
Miller Drilling is just
Yes.
so phenomenal. They've been
Yes.
lifelong family friends of ours and my family. So I absolutely know and love them. But to see them also step up, they were our business of the year, and then to see their engagement and how they support the community, it's why they were the business of the year. They're just so phenomenal, and it was great to see that as well. So yeah, so 13 nonprofit organizations benefited directly from the sale of these trees, and so it wasn't about the chamber and us being able to make money. For us, it was a complete wash, but it was so fun. I smiled I'm smiling now. I smiled for weeks. It was such a good feeling to be able to give back and to watch, especially right before Christmas time.
So Gina, who puts in all this? I mean, who puts the ideas? I mean, do you guys all get together as a team? They go,
We do.
Hey, let's. What do you think about this? I mean,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
love that. We love it. What can we bring to just really enhance our communities, right?
Yeah.
Like, what can we do to help? What can we do to just
Yeah, and a lot of times it's
Have fun.
the 11 o'clock at night text, hey, I just thought of this, or
does this happen?
We do.
11 o'clock at night?
We do. Yeah, I don't think my brain stops much on ideas. Like, I'm always thinking of what can we do next? What can we do to really give back?
So what is something that you want to do that hasn't yet been accepted?
Oh, that's a lot. It's funny. I was just talking to a realtor last night at our event, and just sharing an idea that I did up in my other community, and she's like, "Wow, now you've got my brain working." Like, just fun things that we can just bring people together, but yet benefit either our community or nonprofits or businesses or whatever it may be. What can we do to bring people together? and have some fun. Like before we even left the Christmas tree auction, we had people that said, put me down for 2 trees next year. Put me down for a tree next year. I had no idea, but we want to get involved. And they were so excited before as they were walking out the door.
Yeah.
So it's just things like that you just go, wow,
And
people
this
love
year
this.
we're hosting it, I believe we're hosting it at the Spring Hill Marriott in Atascadero because they're doing the renovation of the Veterans Hall. And so we won't be able to be there, and that'll give a little bit of a different feel to it in a sense, just because Templeton's Templeton, and being in the downtown is just awesome. Of course, but Spring Hill will be fun. We're excited about that as far as having a formal stage and just like we do at the Veterans Hall. So that similarity will be great in order for us to put up all the trees. And so logistically, we'll work through that piece of it. I think we'll be able to get a few more people in the door. I think they can fit about 250 people at that space if you really pack them in. So it'll look a little bit different, but then for the following year, that'll determine whether or not we're able to go back to the Veterans Hall or what that looks like.
Wow, it sounds like you guys got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So Gina, tell me real quick before we go out about your team.
Oh my gosh, my team! I have to say, don't make me well up here. This is the most incredible team. We have a full-time marketing person. May is our full-time marketing, and she actually backs up membership as well. But May's been on the team for a shorter period of time than anybody else. She's been the newest to our team, but she's so insightful and just she knows what she's doing and talking about, and she's excited to meet the businesses and learn how we can help promote differently and our messaging. Again, that's where looking at the Hispanic business community and how we're communicating to people. So May's phenomenal. Our chief of staff is Jenna Heidinger. She came actually from the Wonderful Company, and she is she's our rock. She just keeps us really grounded and says yes to the things that matter and how can we make this happen. She's an executor, so we come up with the ideas and she makes it happen. And so our team is, and then we have Amy Russell still is doing advocacy for us. That in itself is, I feel like it could be a full-time job, just all of the different regulations at the state level specifically. And then of course what's happening at the federal level. So it's interesting to have Amy be a part of the business community and stay abreast of all of these changes. We know that water is going to be a huge conversation here. It already is.
Yeah, it is.
Deep breath.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of the things. We're just rolling right along and love. And now we have because of the visitor centers, we have 3, I think, maybe 4 part-time people that work for us and operate the visitor center. So what can we do differently is in the area of hospitality and tourism. We're looking at that as well. So it'll be fun. I'll come back and share our strategic plan with you. How's that sound?
Awesome. Heck yeah. Yeah. Everything and anything.
Yeah.
That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
What's up, North County?
There we go.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, cool. I think we covered everything. This was
love it.
fun.
I
Yeah,
love it.
this was fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I love to hear about what's happening, in Paso and being, involved in letting our viewers know what's happening. Because a lot of times things happen you don't even know, and it happened last weekend and you didn't get to go to it.
Well, we
Be a
love
part of it.
supporting you. We love What's Up
Yes.
North County.
Awesome.
We love the partnership. So thank you for having us. And we'll be back again soon.
Awesome,
I'm sure
ladies.
of it.
Well, we
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah,
it. You guys
thank
got to
you.
get to your women
We
in
have women in
business.
Exactly.
Huh? Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
Thank
Had a
you.
lot of fun today, and
Yeah.
can't wait to build this relationship and see what else is happening in
Yep.
Paso.
Let's
Perfect.
go.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
Awesome, ladies. Thank you for
Thank
coming on.
you.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, guys. Make sure you guys get on over there to the Paso Robles Chamber and be a part of that. If you got a business, even if you don't have a business, you can still be a part of it and go out there and network and be a part of what's happening in Paso. Templeton Chamber, Women in Business. But as always, guys, we can't do this without you and our sponsors. We'd like to thank Escalar Wine, Wine Travelers Hideaway, Visit Atascadero, 805 Customs, MGP Coatings, North County Junk Removal, The Trailer Barn, Story Termite Pest Control, Borho and Auto Center, Kennedy Club Fitness, Airflow Filter Services, and Suprema Meat Markets. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you next time.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today, we can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, it's Alex with Suprema Meat Market. We are a Mexican meat market with a taqueria. Come enjoy our high-quality cuts and meats. We offer choice and prime Harris Ranch beef, as well as chicken, seafood, and pork items. In the taqueria, all of our tacos come with handmade tortillas. We also offer specialty items like chilaquiles and chile rellenos. Come enjoy Taco Tuesday with Suprema. We offer our tacos at $1.99 each. Suprema Meat Market is located at 8950 Montecito Avenue in Atascadero.
Are you tired of looking at that worn-out concrete garage floor, patio, or porch? Look no further than MGP Coatings, where customer service reigns supreme. Our team goes above and beyond to ensure your satisfaction every step of the way. Before we even start coating, we meticulously repair your concrete, ensuring a flawless finish that lasts. And here's the best part. Our Pentec coatings are 4 times stronger than epoxy, so they won't chip or peel, making maintenance a breeze. Plus, they come with a limited lifetime warranty. Call us today at 805-952-5301 or check out our Facebook and Instagram and experience the MGP coating difference. Don't wait. Transform your garage, patio, porch, or driveway and become a part of the MGP coating family.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Hi, this is Omid
and Deanna
at North County Junk Removal. We are a business known for helping our neighbors and our community.
Let us help you save money and get rid of any unwanted items.
And rest assured that our professional team adheres to global standards of safety and recycling. We are fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind.
We are locally owned and operated, and we look forward to helping you with all your junk removal needs.
Please call us at 805-769-6966.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We are all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.